DC Multiverse!
Howdy do, buckaroo. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brad, the DC Universe Geek, and today we're going to be reviewing the McFarlane Collector's Edition Beast Boy. I'm actually quite stoked about this figure because we always could use another Beast Boy. This is a completely different look since the last one, and this, if I'm being honest, is one of my favorite looks for Gar. Big thanks to my friend Rob from Rob D Toys because this thing here was so challenging to get my hands on, and he just came to the rescue. He's like my superhero. So the front you've been looking at, we can go to the side now. McFarlane Collector's Edition Beast Boy, 1 year later. And then on the back, we see a really fantastic piece of artwork showcasing Beast Boy turning into a tiger. And out of the package, this is a McFarlane Collector's Edition that I think actually really lives up to its name. For starters, of course, we got the trading card, as comes with every McFarlane figure, with that data file bio on the back, which as usual, you can feel free to pause to read if you would like. And we got an extra interchangeable set of open hands, but we also got 4 more extra accessories that I don't recall seeing anywhere else ever. We got a little slice of pizza because Gar likes to eat and he likes pizza. We got this here little rat for him to change into. We got a snake, a serpent, a boa constrictor perhaps, or you know what, I'm going to say this is likely a python. And there's actually quite a bit of snake here, and it has a nice wash over it. So there's the snake, and they gave us a pterodactyl. Garth can turn into a pterodactyl, and this is actually pretty sweet. I haven't seen these sculpts before, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen a McFarlane pterodactyl anywhere before, or a snake, or a rat, or the pizza, which tells me that these have all been newly sculpted, newly made just to go with this collector's edition figure. And if that's the case, that's pretty cool. That's the kind of thing that we want in a collector's edition figure. We want to see this amount of stuff in a McFarlane collector's edition figure. As for the Beast Boy figure, he has been made on the exact same body buck as the John Kent Superman figure from a long time ago. You'll have to pardon the fact that I've added a cape and changed the head. I like it better this way, but the overall body sculpt is exactly the same. And as can be seen here, it is the exact same body mold as was used for the previous Beast Boy figure. Only while this Beast Boy figure uses John Kent's belt, we see that this Beast Boy figure just used a basic set of naked trunks. Both of their facial sculpts are so different. They are not the same at all, and I really think that the new one is a fantastic upgrade. I think it looks just amazing. Like seriously, I think they did a pretty good job with this. Those of you who are customizers also will spot the fact that this hair could also be used on a Superman figure for flight hair. You know, like Superman's hair is blowing in the breeze. It could absolutely be used for that, but I really like this. You got the pointy ears on this one, whereas the previous one didn't have the pointy ears. Hold up a second. I knew I had seen that hair sculpt before. I know. I pulled this off of the Superboy figure and put it on Superman. If you look at some of the details of this hair, the outline of it, where the hair sticks up, this is, I think, the same hair sculpt. I'm going to say that it's probably the same. And if not the same, it's a retooled version of this hair because it just looks way too similar to write it off. Now, just to continue on with a few more comparisons here, I have him with the Collect-to-Build Beast Boy figure, and he is way smaller and just has a completely different suit on, but nonetheless, here he is compared. And then also in between 2 Mattel versions of Beast Boy, we have the one on the left, which is the DC Universe Classics, and we have the one on the right, which is the DC Multiverse Beast Boy, but the Mattel DC Multiverse. Not a bad figure either. Actually, a pretty darn cool figure. Close up, we can see that McFarlane did a pretty good job with the paint apps because, I mean, really, there's not a lot of paint apps to mess up with this. It's pretty simple. Most things are sculpted in the color they're supposed to be, except for his boots. They had to add painted detail to his boots. No painted deco whatsoever to his belt. It's just gray. And they had to do some paint deco on his arms to give him his like rolled up sleeves, his higher up sleeves. Overall, a pretty sweet looking figure for sure, but I wonder how articulated he is. Well, I know how articulated he is based on the fact that we've seen this body buck many, many times before, and I'm just gonna go through it for those of you who may have never seen the articulation of this one. So the ab crunch down is pretty crap, and then back, it's, still not super great. We have the arms that go up into their T-pose, pretty good. Of course, we have the socket and we have the rounded hinge there. We have the bicep swivel here. Of course, it's going to go 360. We have the double jointed elbows. We have the wrist articulation, which is very articulated. For Beast Boy's noodle, it is fairly articulated. That's actually pretty good. Well, not back, but forward is pretty good. He can look down on the ground for stuff. And then, of course, we have the waist articulation, which is tight, 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 as always. But both of these will do 360. We have the McFarlane style groin, which goes splayed out that far. And then you can move the legs up about that much. You can move them back about that much before you start having to use the knee articulation to get more. He's got okay thigh cut approximation, could be a lot better, but this one could be worse too. Double jointed knees, crunched up nicely, and then we have that rounded shaped looking hinge for the ankle that gives a nice amount of articulation. It's also a pivot, and we have the toe. So what do I think of this figure? Do I think that it was a worthwhile purchase, or should I have just saved my money? Well, as someone who plans on collecting as many of the different characters from the DC Multiverse action figure line, and I'm specifying the 90s and the 80s and roughly current contemporary time, I got my work cut out for me. I've been keeping up, however, man, falling behind is a painful thing. So yeah, I'm glad I picked him up because he's only going to get more and more expensive because of his scarcity. So yeah, I think he's a reasonable figure. Nothing special, nothing super different about him that makes him better than anything else. However, I think he is a reasonable attempt at the character. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it so much, and I will see you all with the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.